Ryan, I really feel like the wide receiver class is going to be really underrated this year. And I think right now it's very underrated. And I think that we're going to trend towards it becoming one of the strengths of the class. I think that there's an opportunity to see some pretty good first-round volume once teams get their eyes on and really dig into the tape of these players that are currently going as late first-round, early second-round floaters. We can sit here and realistically name maybe 8 guys that could go in the first round depending on how a team values them. I'm just going to throw out some names. Carnell Tate, Jordyn Tyson, Makai Lemon, Chris Bell, Casey Concepcion. That's 5 right there already. There are opportunities to see some other guys in the mix as well because there's just Eric Singleton obviously didn't have a great season, but there is a chance that I think some of these players could rise, especially if some of these players end up having a really, really good combine, a really, really good pre-draft.
Yeah, I mean, there is a ton, to your point, that could be in that conversation towards the back end of the first rounds. I mean, I would even throw I wouldn't draft him this high, but like a Jeremy Bernard that plays at Alabama. He's a guy that has a lot of fans. The Denzel Boston out of Washington. Like there's a bunch of them, man. What's funny is going into the year, I remember we both liked Jordyn Tyson a lot. I think we both had Jordyn Tyson as our top wide receiver. I had Chris Bell at wide receiver 2 and Makai Lemon at wide receiver 3. But me saying that was like, I think those guys could develop into first-round picks. They were not like first-round picks before the season. You know what I mean? And with what they've done this year, I mean, all you have to go is pop on the Chris Bell Miami tape, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah. All you have to do is pop on every single game for Makai Lemon and be like, oh, yeah. You know, like I feel like I'm the Kool-Aid guy with all these guys. She's like, oh yeah. But I really do think that this is a class that has gone from one guy in the preseason that you knew for sure was a first rounder to a class that has several guys that you can contend to be in that conversation. Even Carnell Tate, and I think Carnell Tate from Ohio State has a chance to be wide receiver 1. He's going to battle with Jordyn Tyson, I believe, to be wide receiver 1. And then after that, it's going to be Makai Lemon, Chris Bell. Like, what does that order end up looking like? Carnell Tate was a good player in 2024. He's been an elite player in 2025, right? Like his catch radius that he has, very long arms, ability to win along the boundary, but he has the suddenness to win as a route runner as well, and he has enough long speed to be able to create some explosive plays down the field as well. So Carnell Tate, who was a former like borderline 5-star player when he was coming out of IMG Academy, originally a Chicago kid, that is a guy that has gone from very good player to a elite level prospect potentially. I mean, I just had a mock, and it was a no trade mock at A to Z, but I had him going number 2 overall to the Giants, Joe. And you know what's weird? I think that number
so
2
early for a receiver.
I think number 2 is. I was about to say that. I think number 2 is too early for a wide receiver in a vacuum. But in this class, I was kind of like, you know what? I don't really hate it. Like the Giants are going to trade back at all costs if they end up with the number 2 overall pick. So are the Titans if they're number 1. But the point is that Carnell Tate has vaulted himself up to being a top 10 player in this class, potentially top 5 player in this class. He has been tremendous for Ohio State. And I wish that we could do this podcast for 2 more hours, because I would love to just sit here and talk about Chris Bell, who is 6'1.5", 227, probably going to run 4.4 flat. Talk about Makai Lemon, who is a great route runner, wins after the catch, and is stronger than you would think for 5'11", 195. This wide receiver class is dope, man. Like a really pleasant surprise. In the preseason, I wasn't super geeked up about it. Right now, I'm willing to say that this might be the deepest class that we have in 2026.
I watched Carnell Tate before we taped because I'm doing a piece for the Giants on some top guys to watch. And the second overall is too early. I do think that the Giants have to trade back in this class. The guys that are, or the teams that are holding those top picks have to trade back. It's a very weird year in that regard.
Yep.
Carnell Tate, to me, has everything to be a top 10 wide receiver. I was blown away watching him because you mentioned the subtleness in the way that he runs his routes. I think him as a deep route runner, it's almost mesmerizing watching how very just the littlest steps that he has,
like
the
little
detail
head fakes,
required,
subtle things.
Yes,
It's great.
It completely manipulates defenders. And for anyone who wants to downplay that, watch what DBs do when he makes those steps. It completely puts them out of position. It's not like a quick little step one way and a DB still on him. Those dudes are lost the minute that he makes those quick little subtle cuts. The other thing, too, that I think I underappreciated, I started to think that he was rounding his routes, and then it occurred to me that he's so smooth at transitioning, not coming back upfield. That's something that I think needs a little bit of work on his regard. He's not like a super fluid, come back to the football type of a guy on a curl or a hitch or anything in that regard because he's just so long. But when he's running a slant and he's cutting to the middle of the field, he is so good at transitioning without losing speed that it almost looks like he is not refined. Meanwhile, it's the opposite. He's so refined that it's almost unnoticeable. He does a lot of things that you need to really look for that really play out to him being a big-time player. And we were texting about it earlier. He's got a lot of Robert Woods to him. I don't know if that makes him top 10 guy, but he's a bigger, longer version of Robert Woods, which I would argue is more dangerous.
I would say, I don't want to get too weird here, but like he's a Robert Woods on steroids. He's a souped up Robert Woods. Like, I mean, he's sure. Robert Woods in how he plays, except he's bigger, faster, stronger. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty wild, which is why he's going to go super early. Because for people that don't remember Bobby Trees, like Robert Woods was a really good player, like 1,000-yard wide receiver in the NFL. Very good football player. Here's the cool thing, Joe. We got a couple freak shows, obviously, right? Like Chris Bell. But this class, a lot of great route runners too, man. Like, I don't want to underemphasize that. Like, you talk about Carnell Tate as a route runner. Makai Lemon is a pristine route runner, man. Gets in and out of his breaks so well. Understand how to attack blind spots. So does, I mean, who's the better route runner, him or Casey Concepcion? Like, it's a very interesting debate. Like, that's how many good route runners we have in this class. And I really, man, I would be so excited to have, for me, Carnell Tate, Jordyn Tyson, Chris Bell, Makai Lemon, for sure first rounders. Like, I wouldn't even think about it. Like, yes. And then after that, actually, I would throw Concepcion in there too. I would be so okay with drafting Casey Concepcion in the first round. So ready. So, like, that's 5 guys off the top of my head that I'd just be like, yeah. Denzel Boston, more of a day 2 player for me personally, but like this wide receiver class has really rounded into form without question.